Say goodbye to the days when Nautica Voyage was the only talked about budget fragrance for men. Because of the explosion in popularity over cologne fragrances, you can now smell better than 99% of the guys out there without breaking your bank account. In this video, I'm going to be presenting to you 7 cologne fragrances that I strongly believe are a perfect 10 out of 10, so you don't have to wear Nautica Voyage anymore. The first 10 out of 10 cologne fragrance on this list is one I am super passionate about, and that is Maison Alhambra's Kismet Angel. I adore this fragrance. It is actually my second bottle of this stuff. It is just so beautiful and unique, and you're only spending around $40 for something of such high quality. It is crazy out here, man. It is crazy. The days of Nautica Voyage are officially over with fragrances like this. It is boozy, it is sweet, it gets compliments. You get the vanilla, the honeycomb, the amber, and then the booziness comes from a cognac note. I hate pronouncing that word. Tell me in the comments if I pronounced it wrong. I probably did. This cologne is so good that I'm confident if you sprayed it on one hand, put Kilian's Angel Share on the other hand, you went out in public, 99% of people would just assume that you're showing them the same fragrance twice. It smells that close to the original. Where it doesn't quite compete with Angel Share is the performance. Sillage wise, longevity wise, it's just not quite as good. It's soft to moderate projection on my skin. Longevity, I'm looking at about 7 to 8 hours, which isn't bad by any stretch. You just may have to overspray this one as opposed to Angel Share. That thing projects like a beast on me. Up next is another cologne fragrance. This one I think is just so slept on. More people should be talking about it, and that is from a company called FOMO. This fragrance is called Illusion d'une Soir. It is a dupe of Grand Soir by MFK, one of my favorite fragrances of all time. So if anyone is going to critique a Grand Soir dupe and be super non-biased, just be super critical of it, it is me. But let me tell you, this one passes the test. Unlike Grand Soir, this one has a whole bunch of notes added to it, like gaiac wood, musk, cinnamon, just to name a few, but I don't really get any of those, to be honest. It is just very amber and vanilla dominant. However, compared to Grand Soir, you get more vanilla and less amber. It also kind of loses that kind of sparkle that Grand Soir has in the air. It's very hard to explain unless you've tried it. It just doesn't smell quite as classy and luxurious, but it gets about 75% close, and I found this thing for only £48 on Amazon, and what you're getting for £48 is a robbery. Up next, we have the Hyp Beast Rasasi Hawas. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard all about this fragrance by now, so I don't want to touch on it for too long, but it also is kind of controversial because this came out before the fragrance that people are claiming it clones, which is Invictus Aqua, which I believe came out in 2016. This was actually released in 2015, but to be fair, this does also smell about 70% similar to the original Invictus, which came out well before this. So I'm going to call it a clone. It's sweet, fruity, fresh. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 though. What I do think is a 10 out of 10 is the flanker that came after, which no one is really talking about, and that is Rasasi Hawas Ice. Technically, I don't think this is a clone of anything, but it takes the original Hawas, makes it more minty, more aquatic. Essentially, it's a more mature version of Rasasi Hawas because that fruitiness is toned down. I also find the projection longevity is improved. I really like Rasasi Hawas Ice. I think it is an underrated gem. However, it does cost, I believe, about $20 to $30 more than Rasasi Hawas, but I think it's worth it. This thing, 10 out of 10. The fourth cologne fragrance that I believe is a perfect 10 out of 10 is by a company called Orientica, and it is Royal Amber. This is a clone of Xerjoff's Erba Pura, and I think it is even better than the original creation. Why do I think a clone fragrance is better than the original creation? Well, let me tell you. For one, this is just a lot more agreeable than Erba Pura. If you actually want to live in society like a functioning human and you don't want to annoy every second person you run into, this fragrance is a much better option for you. I'm not going to sit here and say this is safe for the office, but in terms of just being normal in society, Erba Pura is tough to pull off, okay? As someone that owns it up there, as someone that has tried to wear it, it is very synthetic. It is just a fruit basket, but it is so loud. This one tones down the projection. It still lasts a long time, around 10 hours. Tones down the projection, makes it more easy to wear. It adds adds more woodiness. It's slightly less synthetic. This is just basically Erba Pura, but made more wearable. In terms of cologne pricing, this one is one of the more pricey ones on this list. You're looking at around £70 off Amazon for Orientica Royal Amber. Do I think it's worth it? 100% yes. If you like Xerjoff Erba Pura, you like the fruity, creamy fragrances, you will love this stuff. I think it deserves a 10 out of 10 rating. It is time to knock off two birds with one stone, and we're going to do that by talking about two 10 out of 10 Creed Aventus inspired fragrances, and that is Montblanc Explorer and Club de Nuit Intense Man. Essentially, just to run it through quickly, Montblanc Explorer costs a little bit more, however you get a more smooth fragrance all the way through. Club de Nuit Intense Man is a more affordable option, however you are going to be met with a very harsh, some people compare it to a lemon cleaner almost opening, which lasts for about the first 20 minutes. In my experience though, you really do get used to it and you kind of learn to like it because it is just so out there, it's just so masculine. A lot of people do hate it though, so be careful with this one. Dry down, you're looking at about 90% similarity to Creed Aventus from my experience, and the performance of Club de Nuit Intense Man, this is the EDT version by the way, I find is superior to Montblanc Explorer. If you're going to ask me which one should I buy, if you want the closest replication of Creed Aventus, Club de Nuit Intense Man is closer, especially in the dry down. However, if you want Creed Aventus with its own kind of little unique twist to it, you want something smooth, maybe something more office and school friendly, Montblanc Explorer is the one you should go for. I think they are both excellent fragrances that deserve a 10 out of 10 rating in terms of the value for money that you get, but you just got to pick the one that suits you the best. The seventh perfect 10 out of 10 clone fragrances that we're going to discuss in this video is Lattafa Khamrah. Just like Kismet Angel, this is inspired by Kilian's Angel Share, but in my opinion it does not smell super similar. I'm going to give it around a 70 to 75% similarity rating to Kilian's Angel Share. So if you're looking for the most accurate Kilian's Angel Share dupe, definitely do not pick this one, but I still love it for its own reasons. This to me is less boozy and much more cinnamon heavy than Kismet Angel and Kilian's Angel Share, which I personally actually prefer. The booziness, it can just get a little bit heavy and overwhelming. This is rich, dense, you get the praline, you get the date note. It is very full on, and I just think it serves perfectly for special occasions. Something about it just reminds me of going to like fancy dinners, say you're a younger guy, maybe going to a prom night, or just celebrations, weddings, that type of stuff. This fragrance would honestly be perfect for it. Performance, well above average, especially for the price of around 40 bucks. You're looking at moderate to strong projection, so around 4 sprays will be good for most guys. If you want to be smelt, you want to have a chance of getting a compliment. And then longevity, you're looking at around 8 hours, which is fantastic. The final clone fragrance that I believe is a 10 out of 10 that I'm going to be discussing in this video is Afnan's Supremacy in Oud Intense. That is a mouthful to say. Wow. But this fragrance is nothing short of phenomenal. It is a clone of Initio's Oud for Greatness, which I haven't had the pleasure of smelling. I think I've smelled literally every other Initio. For some reason though, I still haven't smelt it. But judging by reviews on Fragrantica, just people I've talked to, I know Fragrantica, super trustful, right? They say that it is very close to Oud of Greatness. I get similarities to something like Montale Arabians Tonka. The Oud's definitely there, but it's very well blended. It's extremely mass appealing. This is just sweet and sexy. It reminds me of a mix between Arabians Tonka and Mancera Instant Crush, but the one thing that makes this a 10 out of 10 is that the performance is out of this world. I find that this is around the same strength projection wise as Arabians Tonka. If you guys have ever tried this, you know how strong that is. 3 sprays, you may kill someone. It's that strong. Longevity as well. That was the lid. Longevity as well, over 10 hours. I really like this stuff. It's not something that I feel comfortable wearing a lot of the time, but I'm glad to have it in my collection. I think this will suit a lot of people. It is a 10 out of 10. That is gonna wrap up the video on 8 cologne fragrances that I believe are a perfect 10 out of 10. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely check out these 8. Honestly, I can back all of them. I think they are fantastic. They're pretty mass appealing. They'll get you compliments, and they're not gonna break your bank account, which of course we always love. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. I hope you're enjoying, seeing my face on Omar's channel. I understand some people aren't going to love that because, we love Omar. We love his knowledge, his personality. But, I'm doing my best. I hope you guys are still enjoying them nonetheless. Have a good rest of your day. Catch you guys later.